Hey you guys, welcome back to Lisa and Company, and today is our second blue and white collaboration. A collaboration I designed so my mom would have lots and lots of blue and white inspiration for her viewing enjoyment. Make sure you check out the entire playlist below. Hope you enjoy, Mom. If that sounds like your kind of video, make sure you hit the subscription button as well as the notification bell so you know every time we upload a video. These are my collaborators this time around. Some of my favorite people on YouTube. Christy, Lisa, and Sherry have created all kinds of great content for you today. Make sure you go and check out their channels, which I've linked below. I'm starting with a wall hanging, and everything you see here with the exception of one thing came from the dollar store. The placemat, the plaque, and the Dollar Tree rulers all came from the dollar store. This letter P is actually from a Walmart Christmas collection, but I picked it up at a thrift store, and the best part, 50% off that day, so it was only 50 cents. We're going to start by giving this a quick coat of the white paint. That's the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. You know I use this all the time. I'm using the same thing on the letter P, and when it's all dry, I am going to add a little bit of dry brushing to it, so stay tuned and see how that turns out. All right, now we're going to put this all together. Hey fellow YouTubers, I used the trick where I filled the hole with glue, with the hot glue, just like I'm seeing so many of you doing. It worked, but it seemed a little harder than I thought it would, so you guys make it look super easy. I ended up sanding it a little bit and giving it a couple of coats of paint, and I think that did the trick. I'm going to go ahead and attach these rulers at the top and the bottom, and then go ahead and attach the plaque before I finish it off with the letter P, which, in case you were wondering, stands for Polly, my lovely mum. So I felt like this needed a little something extra, so I just went in with a beautiful paint color called Champness from Fusion Mineral Paint before I glued that onto the plaque. All right, I love beaded handles, so I decided to make a beaded hanger for this with some small beads that I ordered from Amazon. I'm going to thread this on some blue, my mom always called this crochet thread. So I guess it was something that was used for fine crochet. I picked it up at the thrift store in a whole bunch of different colors for something crazy like $1. So we're going to string a whole bunch of these together just to make a long enough hanger so that it adds a little detail, and we are going to leave the beads in their raw finish because I think it looks fantastic. Now I did want to make some small tassels, partly to finish off the end of the beads, and it would hide that one little divot that I wasn't thrilled with from filling the hole. Now this is by no means meant to be a tassel tutorial. If you guys want me to do one a little slower so you can check it out, let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to do that really soon. I know there's so many great tassel tutorials out there, so I just went ahead and did this really quickly. I'm going to add these to the end of the beads and glue it all together, and we are going to be done this baby. So just a few dabs of hot glue on the corners will get this plaque attached, and then we're going to add the letter P and call it a day. I'm really glad I added that blue dry brush on the P. My first idea to keep it all monochromatic was good, but I think this was even better. Moving right along to project number 2 is this really cute wheelbarrow I picked up at the dollar store for $4, and I foresee this full of pumpkins in a very short time. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and use flowers. Now, my mom's not crazy about raw wood or really dark stain stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and just give it a very gentle dry brush with the linen white chalked paint, and I think she's going to be happy with it. Now, because I don't want to be able to see the foam once I put it in, I'm going to go ahead and use this sheet of burlap I had from the dollar store last fall. I'm going to fray the edges a little bit, and I'm going to put it in on a slight angle so that it doesn't look too square and too perfect. You know, perfectly imperfect and planned random. Does that sound about right? So we're going to pop that foam in there, and that's going to do most of the trick to hold it in place. I have to adjust it several times, well, just because I felt like I had to adjust it several times. And I am going to put a few dabs of glue down here just to hold it down. I don't want it sticking up. You guys can see what I'm doing, and I know you get the idea. I picked up these stems at the dollar store fairly recently, and I love the idea that they have sort of a transitional seasonal look. They're not really spring or summer, but they're not really fall either. So I'm kind of loving where we're going for this time of year. Of course, I always prefer to cut them apart completely so that I can make sure that I can put them exactly where I want. I did go ahead and add a beautiful gingham and burlap bow just to finish it off. You guys know I'm not so much into the bows, but my mom sure likes them. This little clothes peg picture hanger picked up at Dollar Tree. I am going to be using the one side, so we're going to pull off the twine that holds those right now so we can give it a sand and a paint. Now I am going to be decoupaging over top, but because it's a very thin and light colored napkin that I'm using, I want to make sure to paint it white first so nothing shows through. And of course, we don't want the texture from the ever-present Dollar Tree glitter to come through either. So this is a 3-ply napkin, and I find a way to get the best result is to tear off a piece. This sort of starts it coming apart, and I find it's a lot easier if you peel off one layer of the napkin before you do the second layer. Now, when you're taking this last part apart, make sure you're really gentle. That top layer is really thin, especially if you're dealing with dollar store napkins and you don't want it to tear and start all over again. I'm going to put down a really thin, really even layer of Mod Podge and then lay my napkin very carefully over top. Now, because it's so thin, I am not going to have an opportunity to reposition this, so fingers crossed, team, that I can get this where it's supposed to be without having to do that. Now, it's tough to tell in the video, but of course, you always know that when you're the one who did it, you see every mistake. And I didn't get it lined up exactly like I wanted to, but hopefully once we get all the finishing touches on here and hang a picture, I'll be the only one who notices. So, Mom, just pretend you didn't hear that, okay? Now, best trick I ever learned. Do not try to cut the perfect size piece. Trim off your excess once the Mod Podge has dried, and then you're going to use a piece of sandpaper. And you have to go top down or a little bit side to side, and basically it just wears away the paper. Just watch how easy it is, and you will have the most perfect, cleanest, most beautiful edge that you could possibly imagine. Check this out. Time to reattach the twine and the clothes pegs, and I'm just going to poke the hole through and very carefully feed it through with a little dab of glue on the back. Then we're going to add some really pretty embellishments to finish this off. I'm using some really pretty dollar store florals that I had left over, believe it or not, from the last blue and white collab we did back in May. I'm going to be sure to link that down below so you can check out that playlist as well. I love blue and white flowers and blue and white gingham, and I'm just going to add a little tiny blue and white gingham bow to finish this off. And doesn't it look pretty? In case you were wondering who those beautiful babies are, that is my son and Izzy when she is just a few days old. I have a feeling their Nana's going to enjoy that one. These projects came out really, really well. Sometimes it amazes me just what you can do with dollar store items. I'm going to say for everything that I used here, stuff that wasn't in my stash, things that I actually purchased probably cost me well under $20. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you enjoyed it too, Mom. Here's a couple more videos for you to check out, and don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel grow. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for stopping by Lisa & Company.